Stacy, this is a beautiful evening to be having the Heritage Livestock Parade.
Definitely.
You know, the heritage of the rodeo has been around for a long time. What is it that you remember most about the rodeos growing up here in this area?
The stadium was a lot smaller, but my family, we would go at least once every year. And I think just the tradition, being with friends and family down at the rodeo. I still remember Red Rock, though. I remember that ride and those years when that big bull was here, and that was fun, and Lane Frost and in the 80s.
You know, that was a lot of fun, and that really put Spanish Fork on the map during that period.
Yeah.
You know, I remember years before that when Diamond Fork Riding Club was responsible for putting that on, and we might add that this is the 75th annual rodeo that Diamond Fork and Spanish Fork City have put on. Diamond Fork Riding Club started, you know, clear back in the 40s.
Right.
And they felt like it would be really important to have a rodeo that went along with it. And in those early days, the club members were responsible to find the stock, and if they couldn't get cowboys to come in, then the riding club would actually ride the bulls and would do the bulldogging and would fill up the rodeo and make sure that they had enough contestants at the rodeo.
So now we're, the top 7 in the nation.
Yes.
We've been inducted, we're the Gold Tour?
Yeah, we're a gold member.
Gold member, okay, yeah. I want to read a little bit about that. We're the $1 million, let me get to this.
Well,
yeah, gold member on the $1 million tour.
Yeah.
So.
And there's not many of those in the country. You know, that puts us up there with some of the elite rodeos in Mesquite, Texas, Houston, Dallas,
Oregon,
yeah, Pendleton, and so that really is an honor, and what a long way we've come right here. You know, starting from the barbershop in in the 1940s to being a Gold Tour member.
So you said the stock used to come locally. Who brings the stock in now?
So Frontier Rodeo Company brings the stock to us. They're located in Oklahoma, and they service some of the biggest rodeos in the area. Okay. Donnie Gay, who is an 8-time world champion bull rider, talks a little bit about the stock. He's the general manager of Frontier Rodeo Company, and he talked about the difference of the Frontier Rodeo livestock, and said that anymore the quality of the horses, the quality of the bulls, there really isn't a drop-off. They would rank them. They'd rank their animals similar to a first string, second string kind of a situation that you would see in a lot of sports. And they say that now, Donnie said there's really not much drop-off from their first string or from the number 1 horse to the 40th horse. You're going to see a quality ride and quality animal. Regardless of which horse you draw. Okay. So it's really impressive, and they send horses to the NFR every year, and you know, these horses and bulls, they're also, just like the cowboys are ranked and scored when they come out, half of that score depends on the quality of the animal. And so the animals receive a score as well, and if the horse or bull won't buck, then the cowboy, regardless of how good he is, will not get the score he needs to win. And so they're all anxious to draw the best and the hardest bucking animals.
I don't think I realized that until in June when I was at the Champions Challenge Rodeo, and they were describing that it's just as much the stock as it is the cowboy. My whole life I thought it was 100% the cowboy.
You know, it's amazing. There's a lot of, in rodeo, there's been some controversy over how the animals are treated, and I've been around this a long time, and I can tell you that the animals are treated with so much care, and they're taken care of better than really just about any animals you'll find. These animals are worth millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars.
Really?
And so it's a significant investment, and these stock contractors really take good care of these animals. And they tell stories about Lane Frost and Red Rock, and when you would watch Red Rock come out and buck, and you know, he was a fierce competitor. But they also would talk about Lane Frost, and if you go down to the High Chaparral, you'll see a picture of Lane Frost with his hand on Red Rock. they talk about Lane Frost leading Red Rock into schools and doing performances with Red Rock. He was very quiet, very mellow, but when you put him in the chute, it was all business, and he knew his job and would buck. And that's really not uncommon for a lot of these bulls that are bucking bulls. They're very well cared for, they're very tame, and can get along with them, but they know their job, and when that buzzer goes off, there's a lot of adrenaline and a lot of effort that they put in.
Wow, that's incredible. I would have just thought that Red Rock and Lane Frost were like two little peas in a pod, but in fact, they were just put together, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
They took, during that time period, they took the best. Red Rock was the best bull of his era, and Lane Frost was the best cowboy, and they did the best of 7. And the thing that made Spanish Fork a unique place is they were tied up 3-3. Lane had ridden Red Rock 3 times, and Red Rock had bucked Lane off 3 times. And so when they met in Spanish Fork, it was the tiebreaker. And Lane Frost rode him for 9.6 seconds, and then dismounted and claimed the prize, I guess. Was victorious over Red Rock.
That's a good story. If anyone wants to watch that, they can actually rent 8 seconds. Is that what it's called? Okay, I remember watching that. Well, so kind of to take us from the stock to maybe the cowboys or the bullfighters and clowns, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I know Joe Butler and Richie Harris will be back, as always, as our bullfighters, and they're great entertainers and fun for the crowd. But tell us a little bit about maybe the clown. Do you know him?
You know, I know of him. I was doing a little bit of research on him, and he has won Entertainer of the Year for the last 3 years. He's been to the NFR. He's a really great guy. You know, we had booked this year the Wild Child, and he had an accident in a rodeo recently and was unable to come. And he stepped in. And
on really short notice, too.
Really short notice.
It's incredible that we got someone that high of caliber to come to our rodeo at such short notice.
Well, I think that speaks of his character and also of the quality of our rodeo.
Yeah, true.
It means, you know, as we'd mentioned earlier, all of the top cowboys are going to come through Spanish Fork on their way to the NFR. And a lot of that is because we are a Gold Tour member. The payouts are good. And they need that money. They need that money to qualify for the NFR. And it might be interesting maybe to take just a moment and talk about how the Cowboys get points.
I would love to hear that.
You know, years ago, in the beginnings of the rodeo movement, it started in really the 1880s is when the rodeos really started coming together in the community area. Rodeo stands for roundup, and so they would have these big roundups, and it was an opportunity for cowboys to show who was best, compete, get bragging rights. They would put their life on the line and do some really crazy and daring things. But they weren't able to standardize it until the 1930s, and they standardized it, gave it points, and now they are scored and get points based on how much money they earn. Each dollar counts for 1 point, and that qualifies them for the NFR. They take the top 15 cowboys in the country.
Oh, that's fun. Thank you. I'm glad you know all of this. We will be right back, and we are seeing everyone come down the road, so we look forward to welcoming everyone, and stay tuned.